Hi, everyone. My name is Kathy Crandall, and we are here today with Alexa Cohen and Jamie Schur to have a podcast about work-related stress and how the benefits of yoga can help to alleviate that type of stress. So I am a junior at Brockport College and studying integrated studies. And Alexa, if you want to introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Alexa, and I'm from Long Island, and I'm also a junior studying criminal justice at SUNY Brockport. And yeah, so this is Jamie. We're interviewing her today. Next slide. Yes. Okay, so Jamie was born in Brooklyn, New York. She's a certified yoga instructor and has been operating her yoga business in Woodbury, New York for over 18 years. She attended Lehigh University and Toro Law School. Jamie, did you want to add anything else about yourself, your background?
No, just thank you for having me. I look forward to this.
So Jamie, when did you decide to start practicing yoga, or how long have you been practicing? And was there a driving force behind that decision?
Yeah, it was a long time ago, actually. I'm old. It was like plus 20 years ago. And so I have children. I have a 26-year-old and a 22-year-old, but in between them, I had a pregnancy and I lost a baby. And right after I lost that baby at 4 months, I was like, what should I do with myself? I don't know what to do. I just don't know how to get out of my own way. And I heard this advertisement for yoga, and hot yoga was really rarely even spoken about. But I just called up. It was like 8 o'clock at night. We were still there. And they said, come in, come tomorrow. And I did. And I've been hooked ever since. And that was like 20, I don't know, 3 years ago, 24 years ago.
Wow, that's amazing.
And what made you decide to start your own yoga, or get certified as a teacher and then to start a yoga business?
That's a great, good question. As you said, I went to law school. So I've been practicing law also for a long time. And in the beginning, when I was doing law, I just really didn't find my niche, what I really liked doing. I finally found doing adoption work was what I liked doing. And because I love doing yoga too, I felt like, I need to give back in some way. And so I figured doing adoptions was helping people to create families, but it was just a certain niche of people in the world. And yoga, you can help everybody. You can help people that are, you can help kids, you can help people that are my age, you can help people that are your age, guys, you can help older people. There's chair yoga, there's yoga's for everybody. So I just got really into it. And then I got certified. And then I was asked by the school I was at to teach once in a while. And before you know it, I was looking at studios. So that's how I got into it.
Nice. How do you feel that yoga has benefited your life overall, family-wise?
Yeah. But yoga complements, I think, everything we do in life. If you're stressed, we're going to talk about breathing a little bit. A lot of people think that yoga is just about breathing, and think, oh, that's not a workout. And then other people think, oh, I need to get in shape before I do yoga. So both those things are not true. You don't have to be in shape to do yoga. You can get into shape from yoga. And yoga can be easy. It could be easy, like doing some very easy poses, sitting in a chair, but it also can be very, very challenging. So I think yoga is for everybody.
Okay.
Thank you. So we'll move on, getting into our topic for our podcast today, which is talking about stress and specifically what kind of stress people experience at work. So Alexa, if you wanted to introduce this slide.
Yeah. So stress is really important to understand, and that it often accumulates from work pressure, deadlines, long hours, and the constant demand of modern life. Over time, stress can lead to a bunch of health issues, both physical and mental. And so it's important to find ways to manage it, and yoga is one of those ways. So
Well, I think it sounds like when you say stress that it sounds like, what do we do with that? and then we say, okay, yoga can help it, but how? And again, like if you're, working on a pose and something hurts, I always say to people, don't push through it, work around it, let it heal. Because sometimes we hold on to aches and pains, and they're not really an ache or pain. It could be from stress. So some people hold it in their bellies. Some people hold it in their shoulders. Some people hold it in their jaw. So just laying down and moving your jaw around while you're doing yoga, or just slowing down your breath can actually help you. So that's how yoga can really help. And stress today, with everything going on in the world, it's in the workplace, it's in the world, the news we watch, and it's in you guys being in school. It's everywhere.
Yeah, for sure.
Have you noticed that students that come to your classes, has the type of stress that they come with evolved over time since you've been teaching? Or do you feel like what people are experiencing maybe 20 years ago, what their desire was to come to class is still the same today?
Well, it's interesting, with the economy not being so great, I've had people at times come to me and say, I got to put my membership on hold. And I'm like, sure, no problem. And then a week later, they're back and they're saying, I'd rather not buy the more expensive steak because I need my yoga. So I think that it's for everybody. I try not to really get into people's business unless they ask me, but I tell everybody when they come into the yoga room to leave the stress outside of the bench or outside the studio. And if they want to, on the way out, they can pick it up. But otherwise, just leave it there. And when they're in the room, be a little selfish and just be about you. And then hopefully when you walk out, you can deal with the stress a little bit better.
That's a great point. That's a great point. All right, we'll move on to our next slide. And again, we've kind of talked about some of this already, but how can a yoga practice alleviate some or all of these symptoms of maybe, physical tension in the body or a mind that's racing and you can't sleep at night?
Yeah, well, that's, I think most of the time when people can't sleep at night, is that there's so much on their minds that they have to do. Like, let's say you guys have this podcast that's due, okay, or you have another project for another class, or you have 5 tests coming up, and you have to do a laundry list of stuff as well. I tell people, take a piece of paper, write down all the stuff that you got to do, and put it on your night table, and it's there, and then you can just be free. Same thing when you go into a yoga room. I'll say to people, bring your phone and just jot down a couple things that you need to, then turn your phone off or turn it on silent, or write it down on a piece of paper, and then go ahead and do your practice. So if you can put your stuff aside, then you can really give yourself your full attention, which is pretty amazing.
So you had mentioned different styles of yoga. Is there any certain style of yoga that you feel really is very helpful if somebody's having a lot of stress and they maybe they're searching for a yoga studio to go to, but there's all these different styles, like maybe they have a yin class or a restorative, or they have a vinyasa. What would you recommend maybe they try first if they're looking for stress relief?
Well, yin is a really, really great practice to do, but it's a very difficult practice to do, not physically, but mentally. You really have to be able to get out of your own way. I try to tell people to start with hot yoga if they can deal with the heat, only because the poses in and of themselves are not that difficult compared to a vinyasa class or a Ashtanga class. And a vinyasa class, you're taking any of 5,000 poses that exist, and the instructor is just going to kind of make it up. And so you really don't know what you're getting. Every vinyasa class could be different. So it's very hard to recommend, except to do hot yoga. The big series is an easier class. But then everybody should also know that they can always modify. You don't have to do the arm balance that somebody else is doing. You can go towards the arm balance and not even lift up your legs and still get something out of it.
Yes, very nice.
Awesome. In your experience, what psychological changes occur in the body during yoga that would contribute to stress reduction?
Well, everybody's different, but I think when you get control of your emotions, control of your body, when you feel really good from doing yoga, you walk out of the room feeling just great. Um, I think those just make everything a little better. So psychologically, you can handle things better. You can handle things that are going on in the world. You can handle what your boss is going to throw at you. You can handle what your professor is going to ask you to do. You just can do it better. I was saying before, if you're sitting in traffic and you just have to get somewhere, but you can't help that you're in traffic, just slowing down your breathing, which you use from your yoga practice, can really help you to just stay calmer, because getting crazy is not going to change the situation. So,
Right.
yeah, so doing all those things can really help.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's a great point, saying that if you can handle your yoga class or your yoga practice and you can feel grounded there, why wouldn't you be able to feel grounded when you walk out the door?
Exactly.
We just have to give ourselves that permission to do that. All right. Well, if you would like and be willing, Jamie, we would love to have you walk us through a breathing practice or a pranayama
Sure.
in the yoga world, how it would be said, but and maybe talk a little bit about the breath work, because doing a yoga class right now, physical practice may not be ideal for everybody, but we all breathe, so we can breathe together for a few minutes.
I always joke around and say that thank God we don't have to remember to breathe, because some of us might forget to breathe.
Yeah.
But truthfully, what happens is when you breathe, you naturally breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth, or vice versa. You don't even realize how you do it. But when all of a sudden you slow it down and you just try to breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth, it becomes kind of interesting to notice that you can breathe in really long. Like if you try it right now, you can fill up your lungs, and it could take 3, 4, 5, 6 seconds if you want. But then breathing it out, you're like done. So if you just try to breathe in, count if you breathe in 4 seconds, and then breathe out for the same amount of time. Make it a game. Okay. Try to, do it the same on both sides. Inhale and exhale. You just all of a sudden find this calmness come over you. And if you have nothing else distracting you, you're in your house or you're in the yoga studio and you're just laying in what's called savasana. And by the way, savasana doesn't have to be laying on your back. Savasana can be laying on your side, it can be laying on your belly, however you're comfortable. You can be sitting in savasana or tadasana, standing. Just slowing down the breathing can help you to just get out of your own way. And in a form, it's meditation. So it's really the most important part of the class. And it's probably the most difficult, which is so funny to say that because everyone thinks the asanas, the poses are the most difficult. But in fact, the breathing is the most difficult. And it's what makes yoga yoga instead of just exercise.
Okay.
So I would love for us to just take maybe 1 minute, and if we could do like 5 full cycles of that breath where we count in and count on the way out. So, and we'll just pause here. We don't have to talk through it. We can just breathe for a few moments. And those that are listening or watching, if you would like to follow along, it would be wonderful. And just notice how you feel right now, and maybe notice how you feel after we do this practice.
Okay.
And they might want to close their eyes too.
So just breathe in for 4 seconds or count to 4 and exhale for 4. I think that's been about a minute.
Yeah.
Didn't really keep track, but I don't know. Yeah, so a minute's enough, right? Some days, if that's all you can work in.
Just 1 minute.
this one.
People to not be shy about making some noise too. Like if you're breathing in, you can go. So it kind of sounds really good too to hear yourself. And
Mhm.
a room with people, this is really, it's kind of it brings everybody together. So don't be shy about making some noise.
Hey, any final thoughts at all, or anything you'd like to send us off with? Any recommendations for anybody that like really liked what they heard today, but want to find more?
Like I said before, yoga is for everybody. So try an online class, try a studio. Don't be shy, try it. And then if you like it, share it with others too.
Okay. Well, thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Jamie, very much. We appreciate it. And it was great to meet you and wish you well in your continued yoga practice. And thank you for bringing it to so many people.
Yes.
Thank you.